On May 25, Wuhan, a bustling metropolis in central China, faced an unprecedented natural disaster. Torrential rains, delivering up to 220 millimeters of rainfall in a single day, overwhelmed the city's infrastructure, leading to massive flooding. Streets transformed into rivers, vehicles were swept away, and entire neighborhoods found themselves submerged. The Yangtze River, central to Wuhan's geography, swelled beyond its banks, exacerbating the crisis. The suddenness and severity of the event left residents and authorities scrambling, highlighting vulnerabilities in urban planning and disaster preparedness. The day began like any other, but by afternoon, dark clouds loomed ominously over Wuhan. Meteorological data indicated an unprecedented accumulation of rain, with some areas receiving over 220 millimeters within hours. Drainage systems, already strained by urban expansion, failed to cope with the deluge. Water quickly inundated roads, homes, and public spaces, catching many off guard. As water levels rose, the city's transportation network came to a halt. Subway tunnels filled with water, buses were stranded, and major highways became impassable. Power outages ensued, and communication lines were disrupted. Emergency services were overwhelmed, with rescue operations hampered by the sheer scale of the flooding. Despite the chaos, stories of bravery and solidarity emerged. In one instance, a group of volunteers formed a human chain to rescue elderly residents trapped in a nursing home. Local businesses opened their doors to shelter those displaced, providing food and dry clothing. Social media platforms became hubs for coordinating rescue efforts and sharing vital information. Outside the more populated districts, entire rural neighborhoods were lost in the chaos. These were not homes with strong roofs or upper floors. They were modest huts, tiny shop houses, places where the poorest lived quietly until the waters rose. Rescue teams, overwhelmed by demands in the city, couldn't reach some of these villages for days. By the time aid arrived, some families had already suffered unspeakable losses. In one heartbreaking story, a group of 6 siblings, ages 4 to 17, lost both their parents in the first night of the flood. The eldest, Ling, barely kept the others alive by climbing onto a floating refrigerator and paddling toward a nearby tree with her younger brothers clinging to her arm. They survived on rainwater and sheer willpower for 3 days before a rescue boat spotted them. Ling didn't speak for hours after the rescue. When she finally did, her words broke the silence with unbearable weight. "I couldn't cry," she said. "If I cried, I might let go of them." Natural disasters often bring statistics: 290,000 evacuated, hundreds injured, dozens dead. But behind every number is a life, a name, a heartbeat, a dream. And in the muddy waters of Wuhan, those lives collided with acts of profound sorrow and breathtaking courage. The flood took much: homes, memories, futures. But it also revealed something equally powerful: the human capacity to endure, to protect, to rise. And though Wuhan wept, it also held each other close. In a world drowning in division, that perhaps is the most sacred survival of all. Perhaps the most haunting truth of the flood is the number of stories we will never hear. The single mothers who stayed behind to find their children, the elderly who couldn't move fast enough, the workers who drowned while trying to protect inventory in shops they had spent decades building, the dogs that waited on rooftops, the diaries lost, the birthday presents never given, the photo albums soaked beyond recognition. There is a silence that follows water, a silence filled with what was left unsaid, unspoken, undone. Wuhan's rapid urbanization over the past decades has led to the replacement of natural wetlands with concrete structures, reducing the land's ability to absorb rainwater. The city's drainage systems, designed decades ago, were ill-equipped to handle the volume of water from such extreme weather events. While Wuhan had an emergency response plan, the scale of the flooding exposed its limitations. Evacuation centers quickly reached capacity, and the distribution of aid was hampered by submerged roads. Coordination between various government agencies proved challenging, delaying critical intervention. Experts attribute the intensity of the rainfall to broader climate change patterns, noting an increase in extreme weather events globally. Urban areas like Wuhan, with dense populations and extensive infrastructure, are particularly vulnerable to such events. The concept of sponge cities, which emphasizes the integration of green spaces and permeable surfaces to absorb rainwater, has gained traction in China. Implementing such designs could mitigate the impact of future floods. Wuhan's experience serves as a case study for the urgent need to rethink urban planning in the face of climate change. The 2025 Wuhan flood was a stark reminder of the challenges posed by rapid urbanization and climate change. While the disaster brought immense hardship, it also highlighted the strength and solidarity of the city's residents. Moving forward, integrating sustainable design principles, enhancing emergency response mechanisms, and fostering community engagement will be crucial in building resilience against